My name is Chris Herder. I'm a brand manager at Century Insurance, and I handle all the marketing for SentryWorld. When it comes to the SentryWorld experience, I really think the golf course tests every shot in your bag. I think the unique thing about the golf course is that no one hole is the same as the other. From the first two holes, really testing you from the tee box to the approach shot to the green concepts in the first two, you get a little bit of a break on 3, 4, and 5 and chances to score. 3 being a shorter par 3 with the lake behind, 4 being a short par 4, having an opportunity to have wedge in your hand into a smaller green, and then 5 being a par 5 cape hole that wraps all the way around the lake. There's a good opportunity to score, but big numbers can also jump up and bite you right away. And then you go to 6, 7, and 8, which you have par 4 on 6, par 3 on hole 7, and another shorter par 4 on hole 8, which is lined by bunkers, but a smaller green that really tests your wedge game. There's a collection area to the right of 8 that collects a lot of golf balls. Even if you hit a good drive, you got to have a precise wedge into that green to have a chance to make birdie. And then one of my favorite holes on the golf course is 9. You have the creek that runs right down the middle, so you have to decide if I'm going to take on the left-hand side with a driver, or do I want to lay up and make this a 3-shot hole? The player gets to decide off the tee box quite a bit out here, which is really, really fantastic. 10's another long par 5 that really tests your game. You got to aim up the left-hand side to have any shot, and your second shot into the green, but most people are laying up as it's a 3-shot hole. 11, you have another chance to score. It's a short, drivable par 4. Depending on where the pin is, you're really going to be tested again with your short game. 12 is another fantastic hole. It's one of my favorites. It's a peninsula hole par 3, where typically the wind is into you, and so you're typically clubbing up, but you see a lot of water on the tee box. So it makes it a little more difficult as you're stepping up there to know that 3 is even going to be what you card on the hole. 13 is newer to the property. After the renovation several years ago, we added a new tee box across the lake where golfers are having to carry 200, 220 just to get it over. And then we added a center line bunker. It used to be on the right-hand side of the fairway. We shifted it to the center part of the fairway just to give the player a unique challenge off the tee. 14's a long par 5, difficult to get there in 2, but you do have water right, you do have some hazard left, but a good drive leaves you, a long iron in, or, hybrid 3-wood, depending on how the tee shot goes. 15 is one of my favorite holes out here. It doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion, but it's nothing super difficult off the tee box, but the green is long and narrow, and there's a massive slope on the left-hand side that collects a ton of golf balls. I don't know the stats behind it, but I do know at the Senior Open, it was one of the most difficult holes on the golf course during that week. We all know about the flower hole. There's not really much to say there. It's a fantastic, beautiful par 3 with 50,000 flowers planted annually. And then 17's another one of my favorites. It's a good risk-reward hole. Short par 4, you can play it out to the corner and have, wedge or short iron in, or you can try to take it on with 3-wood or driver, but there is a lot of danger on the right side of that hole. But another infinity green on the golf course, everything slopes from front to back. So depending on where the pin is, you're going to have difficulty accessing that green, depending on kind of how you approach it. And then I love the way SentryWorld, you finish off your round at SentryWorld. It's a wonderful par 4 that just slightly goes uphill to the left with the in on the left-hand side of the fairway over here. Very challenging last hole. If you hit a good drive, you got mid-iron in to a challenging green, but depending on, again, where they put the pin, you can find yourself in a world of hurt based on where that's at. So overall, like I mentioned earlier, no one hole is the same as the other. You get a really unique design and layout here, and I feel like it challenges golfers of all levels.